Howdy y'all, Kaloth here, and we got our title update. We have a lot to talk about, and the biggest thing is a data mine of Taron Malicos, the fallen Jedi who was a boss in Jedi Fallen Order. Everything looks like we're going to be seeing this guy in-game, so we're going to be talking about that data mine and what it could mean. But first, just generally, some information about what we've seen so far in this title update. We've got Zeffo coming as the new planetary zone, and at least for the planet's zone rewards as a whole, it doesn't look that appealing. We were hoping that there would be something big coming with this because of the level of investment. You're talking about Relic 7 Seer Junda, Relic 7 Cal Kestis, and then an entire planetary zone that requires Relic 7 investment from the guild as a whole. And the rewards from the reward track are Chirotex, which is nice but not amazing, and just some more just currency and things that we already have in the game. Nothing new. So that was a little disappointing, even though the Cal Kestis kit looks amazing. But then yesterday afternoon, the data mine goes to this. The Star Wars Galaxy Heroes event server has a data mine section. Sig is the owner of the server. You see data mines from a user named Barbarossa. Props to him or them for getting this information up there. Yesterday at 3:04, we have this beautiful data mine that clearly shows Taron Malicos. This is extended art that you would see for a character release, really. This is the kind of thing you would expect to see from a marquee, as far as I think. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. I know we've seen characters like Jocasta Nu, the Pike Syndicate guy, the Purge Trooper, and Crosshair for Rise of the Empire. We saw little, just portraits for them, really. But this is full character art for Taron Malicos. On top of that, earlier this morning, we got this in the data mine that actually shows Malicos's ability animations, and look at that. It is just gorgeous animations on the character. Of course, it seems a little slow because I've got it on 1X, but those ability animations are amazing. I'm just going to let this continue to play out because you'll see here towards the end, the animation for one of the specials is maybe my favorite animation for a non-ultimate ability in the game. So there's the kind of first ability where he did the spin and the jump was a basic. That second one we saw was a special one. And then here in a minute we'll see special 2. That's basic again. Basic again. Just wait just a couple seconds here. Alright, here we go. Here's special number 2. Look at this. Lifting up 3 rocks, and then 1, 2, and 3. Looks amazing, right? And you'll notice that there are ability icons here because, as Barbarossa, the data miner, pointed out, there are PvE and PvP versions of this character in the game, meaning that this kit has associated with it abilities like what you would see in Rise of the Empire. I'm confident that we're going to see this guy either as part of the Cal Kestis event or part of Rise of the Empire, the Zeffo territory, or both, right? But then there are also PvP versions, which these are the kind of abilities, these are the versions of those abilities that you would expect to have as a player. So definitely big here. Actually, when we go into the data mine, well, I thought I had it up. Here we go. So Barbarossa actually posted in speculation what we're looking at, and it does look, so it is here in territory battle in Zeffo. You can actually see Zeffo here. We'll have 1 space mission. We'll have 3 ground missions. We'll have deployment. We'll have operations, and we'll have 1 special mission that awards currency here. And there's our prize boxes. And the operations look like they're actually going to give really good bonuses, so that's kind of nice. But let's... Okay, I've got the wrong pictures. Alright, here we go. So here's Malicos. Here's the in-game model. Looks amazing. Here's the back. And then here's his abilities. So here's his basic. Maybe that spinning attack wasn't the basic, because the icon here is the 3 stones being force throwed. But anyway, the basic is deal physical damage to all enemies, inflict damage over time and defense down for 2 turns, gain 2 stacks of Edge of Madness until the end of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Note, Edge of Madness is a debuff, so he's putting debuffs on himself, which is going to help Lord Vader. And you would assume, well, actually, there's no assuming. If you look back here, attacker and unaligned force user are the tags. Then, if Malicos has at least 10 stacks of Edge of Madness, he deals increased damage in additional time and loses all stacks of Edge of Madness. So he's going to debuff himself and get -2 defense per stack up to 10, so up to -20 defense. And then once he reaches 10 stacks of that, he will lose those and deal bonus damage. So this icon, I believe this is the PvP version of the ability, because it doesn't really have, it's just got a generic icon. But Vile Thrash, deal physical damage, target enemy, gain riposte, and the attack has plus 100% defense penetration. And then if he has at least 8 stacks of Edge of Madness, takes a bonus turn and loses all stacks of Edge of Madness. Die Whelp, same kind of thing. This looks like a PvE version. Deal physical damage, inflict vulnerable to all enemies, and stun target enemy for 1 turn. If he's in the leader slot, increase their cooldowns by 1, which can't be resisted. Unique, he's got 50% counter chance. Whenever he uses an ability during his turn, immediately uses Dark Strike. Whenever he attacks out of turn, he gains 10% critical damage stacking for 3 turns. Whenever he's inflicted with Daze, he dispels it and reduces his cooldowns by 1. And then, yeah, here's another version of that. So it's interesting. I don't know which is the PvP and which is the PvE version, but here are 2 versions of the Unique. This version of the Unique says whenever he uses an ability during his turn, he immediately uses Dark Strike. Here, we have whenever he attacks out of turn, he gains 10% crit damage. We completely skip that part about Dark Strike. So the reason for this is one version of this is the kit from the character where you'll fight him in a PvE event, in a territory battle, in a legendary unlock event, something like that. The other version of the ability is what you would see when you had the character as an obtainable unit. Here's another Unique. No, this is just a description. So this is kind of the description you would see in PvE. If you're fighting him, you can, long press on that little description to get kind of information about the character, which, if you don't know his story, he was a former Jedi Master who fled to Dathomir after Order 66, was captured by the Knight Brothers, and fell to the dark side, eventually becoming their leader. So this guy's the leader of the Knight Brothers. Notably, the Knight Brothers, we're talking about people like SWGOH Taron and Maul. He was eventually defeated by Cal Kestis and the Night Sister Marin after failing to bring them under his influence, which was a boss fight in Jedi Fallen Order, one of the first boss fights. Yeah, just looks amazing. So that's the information we have now. Obviously, there are some ability descriptions that aren't there. There are some ability descriptions there that are either for PvP or PvE. We don't know which is which, or at least I don't know. Somebody in here may have kind of worked that out at this point. But Taron Malicos is coming. So, number one, we're almost 100%. This is an obtainable character, right? This has more work done for this than would be done for a PvE character. If this was just a raid character, just a TB character, that kind of thing, we wouldn't see multiple versions of the abilities. We wouldn't see that kind of art, that full character art that we saw. So undoubtedly, this is going to be a character that we will be obtaining here down the road. Now, where is this character going to fit? He's got 2 tags in this data mine, which is attacker and unaligned force user. I actually think the ability that calls him out in the leader slot is only going to be PvE. I don't see this guy being the obtainable version of him. I don't see him being a leader. So I think he'll have abilities in the leader slot when you're fighting him in PvE, but when you obtain him, I don't see him being a leader character. What I expect is this is a character who is going to slot in with Lord Vader as a lifter for Lord Vader, freeing Maul up from that slot, right? Or, if you don't have Lord Vader, I see this guy being a lifter for Seer Junda. Now, quickly, let's talk about Maul, because Maul is the quote-unquote lifter for Lord Vader. When Maul released, and when Commander Ahsoka Tano released, I really don't think CG had in mind this concept of GL plus lifter, right? Obviously, Commander Ahsoka was designed to work with Jedi Master Kenobi. Maul was designed to work with Lord Vader. But this concept of GL plus lifter being one tier above the existing GL in terms of balance is something that came well after. It's something that was at least verbalized well after. CG, kind of redefined how balance was, and they put GL plus lifter above just GL. I really think the reason for that is that JMK plus Commander Tano was just much stronger than they intended, or that they expected at least. I don't know how that happens, because very clearly the interaction between JMK and Cat is incredibly strong, right? The interaction between Lord Vader and Maul, much less so. And the other problem there is, while both Maul and Cat have very good uses elsewhere, Maul really is the cornerstone of a completely different team, and that's the Mandalorians, right? So you have to make a choice. Do you use Maul with Lord Vader, or do you use Maul with Mandalorians? That's kind of a difficult choice. So I really do think it's appropriate for CG to start looking at another unaligned Force user that can kind of take Maul's place in the Lord Vader lineup, freeing Maul up to go with the Mandalorians. So if I were to speculate on this, I would say that's where this is going to be. This is either meant for Lord Vader, or if you don't have Lord Vader yet, this guy, I assume, is going to be very good under Seer Junda, who is that kind of catch-all unaligned Force user lead. Where are we going to see this guy? If you look, let's bounce back to the Datamined territory battles. If you look at the pictures of Zeffo, right now, in keeping in mind that this is imminently going to pop into the game. So this isn't just like an upcoming data mine. We know that Zeffo is going to be in this next Rise of the Empire, which is going to start in just a couple of days. So this is very likely the final version of this. We don't see a character icon here under the special mission, right? If you look at the Reva special mission, you'll see Reva as the icon above the special mission. In this case, we don't. We just see the guild event token icon. So I really do think this is just a bonus mission and not a mission to unlock a character. I could be wrong. A character here would certainly be appropriate and certainly feel worthwhile, right? So who knows? We'll see. But I kind of don't think so on this. For my money, this guy, and check this out. So somebody pointed this out. Wong on the event server pointed this out. Reva had similar artwork to this full artwork of Malicos. This is something they only really do for characters that are releasing, right? So for my money, I would say that this is our next Conquest unit. I know we have the Datamine pack for Bad Batch. We're thinking, hey, maybe that's going to mean Crosshair is coming, and that still could happen. But it just feels to me like this fits everything we would expect for a Conquest unit, which means that we should get a kit reveal any day, right? Because based on the normal cadence for Conquest kit reveals, we would get that on July the 4th, which is a holiday. Undoubtedly, we are not going to be getting any news on July the 4th. So sometime between now and July the 5th, when that update goes live, adding that Conquest kit into the game, sometime we'll be getting information on that, and we'll be getting a kit reveal. And it makes sense to me that they would be putting this into the game in this previous update, since just a week later, on a holiday week, they're going to be adding the official Conquest unit. So that's my complete expectation, is that this guy is coming for Conquest. Who knows? He very well could be something as simple as a marquee. I kind of doubt it. I think any marquees are going to tie into whatever's next. He could be a legendary that you have to work towards, which, again, I kind of doubt. We already have the Jedi Fallen Order legendary. We don't really have anything else to build up towards him unless you take the existing Jedi Fallen Order characters and kind of build those up. So I think Conquest fits the best. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section what you expect to see from Malicos and where you expect to see him added into the game. And also, just let me know what your thoughts on Zeffo are, because as I'm looking at Zeffo, unless this character is going to be needed for Zeffo, as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I can pass on that. Big guilds, whale guilds, may very well want to put that effort into Zeffo. The rewards are definitely valuable, but are they worth a concerted guild effort for an entirely new planetary zone, instead of having your guild working on adding new galactic legends, adding new legendaries, adding more, or if you're not there yet, putting your focus on Riva, right? I just don't know if Zeffo is worth the effort for most guilds, unless you're at that very top end. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and other than that, may the Force be with you.